Jingle jangle ding-a-ling, jingle jangle ding-a-ling. I heard Santa's sleigh bells.
Hi, I'm Grant Mathis, and I am a host, and I am hosting this show, and we've got two wonderful guests for you today. Stuff. Yeah, and so I've got a very educated art buff today named Brandon Lane, and he's up right now. And hey, Brandon, tell us about your art stuff. Yep, I'm Grant. I am totally Grant. Right now, this is me. Go, Brandon.
Hey, Grant. It's great to be here today. The piece Mended Stockings by Dorothea Lange portrays life as it was during the Great Depression. And from my artistic view, the darkness and lack of color and ambient light equivocates the likeness of suffering that most women may have experienced during the Great Depression. Now, the focal point of this piece for me was the legs and putting emphasis on the stockings. The impact that this piece can have on someone can greatly widen their understanding of the Great Depression. Now, with the stockings they look like they've been thrown together and just hastily made new. And, you know, that's what people had to do back then, and because they didn't have much money. But, so that's my part on the piece, and back to you, Grant.
Wow, that was really amazing, Brandon. Thank you for that deep artistic insight on those pair of legs right there. And like you said before, I am Grant Mathis. This is me. And thank you so much for being here. Now for your next guest, we have the amazing history buff, Aurora Wells, to give you history lessons. Yay. Yay.
Hello, Grant, and thank you for having me on your wonderful show. Now, are you guys ready to go in the magical land of history in a book? I'm a historian. As everyone is well aware, the Great Depression was a severe worldwide economic depression in the decade preceding World War I. It began in 1928 with the crash of the stock market and lasted until the late 1930s. Lack of diversification, maldistribution of wealth, and unstable international debt structure are just some of the causes of the Great Depression. The stock market in 1929 was followed by the collapse of much of the banking system. Over 9,000 Americans went bankrupt between 1930 and 1933. The American gross national product plummeted from over $104 billion in 1929 to $76.4 billion in 1932, a 25% decline in only 3 years. This, of course, caused a widespread dilemma of unemployment. In response to this problem, many Americans were adopting the belief and personal responsibility. The idea that every American was responsible for their own fate and that the poverty was a sign of their own failure was spreading almost as fast as unemployment itself. There were also more and more families turning to state and local public relief systems just to get a meal. When these relief programs failed due to the lack of funds and the like, many took to the streets and lived as nomads. As the Depression went on, self-blame became more and more at home within the hearts of many Americans. But finally, the Great Depression started to weaken in the 1930s. Though many Americans were still poverty-stricken, the New Deal helped address some of the problems during the Great Depression. It did not end the economic downturn. It would not be until World War II that the American economy would finally turn around.
Wow, Aurora, thank you for that wonderful thing you just did there.
I don't have any friends.
Yeah, I assume that. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in to our wonderful show. Whatever it's called, I'm sure it has a name. By the way, I just want you to know that I am Grant Mathis. This has been me this whole time. This is my voice, and this is what I sound like. Peace out.
PB, who's People Bryson? 2 years ago, I renewed my license.